So then what is it about our present moment that makes someone like Jordan Peterson and his conspiracy theories so appealing? Why is he blowing up now? Maybe not 20 years ago.
So, from what I've read, he does have some good points about certain things. But with regards to his conspiracy theories in particular, conspiracy theories have been around for eons, I imagine. The church was very concerned with heretics. They were the conspiracy theories of the time. Witch trials. Imagine if women actually had the power that they were alleged to have had.
Right.
It was a scary thing. So, in order to keep their power, they had to crush them, right? And keep them underfoot. That was part of, I suspect, their motivation. Today, imagine if women were allowed to have a job on their own. It's what we have today. Yeah. But in the 1950s, or post World War II, when the men were coming back and taking back all the jobs that women had taken over while they were out fighting, the idea that a woman should have her own job was very detrimental to men at that time, and that's part of what has stuck through with us today. We're saying women, if there's an ancient idea that says women should stay in the house, that kind of an attack is a staying. It's like they're trying to keep the past because they're comfortable with it. They were benefiting from it. It's just one strategy.
So Peterson's appeal, part of his appeal, is a reach to the past, a longing for something in the past?
I suspect so.
Real
yes.
or imagined?
Yes, I suspect so. Probably imagined more than likely.
You know who else does that? Is fascists.
Yes. Even postmodernists, I imagine, would do that to a certain degree. It's a natural human tendency to search for origins. I shouldn't say natural. It makes you feel better if you have the answers.
So Peterson, his answer is, we had it. The Enlightenment, capitalism, liberal democracy
got us all of these wonderful things. Let's be thankful and stop complaining.
That's his past that we're losing because of postmodernism is tearing it all down. What about his appeal to kind of young men in general, in particular young men?
I suspect, and this is pure speculation on my part, that as a result of the apparent realization that there's been oppression towards women and to non-white races, there appears to be a certain power loss to white men. They see that there's a black man in, say, a job where they would have liked to have had. And so it's very easy to find a victim, find a scapegoat. It's happened throughout history. And people who are able to exploit that tend to get very famous. That will always be the case.
So this is he's promoting the new scapegoat. The postmodern neo-Marxist university professor.
I don't think it's going to go that far as other scapegoats might be, but it appeals to some, and where it goes from there could be dangerous if you like peace, order, and good government.
So my take on that is that we had the Red Scare, we had the communists to worry about before, terrorists after that. What did the West and capitalism and the right have to justify themselves with?
Immigration now.
Well, and now it's getting there. Right. But Peterson, I mean, there's always been the conspiracy theories about the New World Order, Illuminati, the globalists. Mm-hmm. But they never really gained much traction outside of kind of the hyper right-wing conspiracy corner of the internet. Mm-hmm. So does Peterson doesn't use those terms, and he also doesn't say cultural Marxism, cultural right. Bolshevism, like the Nazis used to say. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's similarities definitely in those, just kind of a through line there. But Peterson, as an intellectual, kind of, does he not give credence to some of these more poorly thought out conspiracy theories, and a kind of legitimacy that more centrist and liberal types and mainstream conservatives can get on board, can get behind, that previously they couldn't get behind the more ridiculous conspiracy theories.
Yes, I suspect that. There was one video where he's talking basically what you were just describing, and he uses this as a very broad blanket term to describe a whole set of people who probably wouldn't normally agree on much, except that there's something wrong with the world as it is today. And
the complainers.
Yes, perhaps the complainers. Some of those complainers take great joy in listening to that. And so it becomes attractive to them. And it's part of the winning the intellectual position, meaning that once you've set up a particular position that is accepted by a great many people, you have a lot of power behind you. When you create a new science like penology or criminology or sociology, you can have a lot of influence that goes beyond that. So the complainers can set up a hegemonic idea that allows them to have a lot of power exercised on their behalf.
And Peterson gives them a counter-narrative, gives the other side a counter-narrative, the establishment a counter-narrative that they can use and wield.
Yes, or some... the way I see it, he seems to think that he's not in the establishment.
Oh, no. He thinks the establishment is...
It's the postmodernists.
Yeah. Postmodernists trying to turn your kids trans.
Yeah. There is no overarching cabal.
Shoot. Well, that's disappointing. It'd be much more interesting if there was a cabal trying to rule the world.